Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. I'm glad you could be here with me today alongside Jan's with me. Hi, Jan.
Hey, Steve. Hey, everybody.
Um, well, I've got I know you were about to ask me something, but um,
Yes, I was wondering something, Steve. Did anything a little bit interesting happen to you earlier today? I know the answer already, but maybe you want to talk about this.
yeah, so I went to Publix and I was going to buy some coffee creamer. And I looked down, and anybody can make the mistake because the receipt is, or not the receipt, but the cost of how much it is so small. So I thought International Delight French vanilla, regular, 2 for $7. Oh, okay, this will work. So when I get to the cash register, she's ringing it up, 4.59. I said, it's 2 for $7 back there. So the guy goes and look. He comes back with the receipt, the tag of the cost, and a bottle of sugar free. I said, no, I don't want this because I don't do anything sugar free. You're better to go sugar than sugar free. That's another story within itself.
Right.
Um, so I said, no, I don't want this. So then I went ahead and had my stuff rung up. I paid for it, got my receipt. I went over and sat down. I looked at my receipt a little bit better. I said, you know what? I'm going to go back over there. I want to look a little bit better. So then when I go back and look again, before I grabbed it and went to the front, I made sure it said what it said. Pumpkin spice, which I don't mind pumpkin spice. It's a little late for pumpkin spice this time of year, but it was there. 2 for $7. Okay, so I go to the front, go back to her. Maybe that was a mistake again. I said, ring this one up. It says 2 for $7. She says, nope, it's coming up 4.59. She says, nowhere in the app do I see where this is 2 for $7. Well, the other one is not 2 for $7 either. So I'll let it go this one time. This was actually to be found in my favor, but it was not. Usually Publix will, cut a deal with the customer if that ever happens, something a mistake on their behalf. So I'll let it go this one time, but the next time an issue like this turns up, I will definitely speak up
You know what this
and
reminds
go,
me of, Steve? Something really important
uh-huh.
that we hardly ever touch upon, How you have to be so observant, and it's just baffling, I bet to you, that that could happen, right?
Yeah, I mean, it very rarely happens. What Publix should have done on my behalf, and I've been a Publix shopper, I mean, for a very long time. Usually they would have just gave it to me at that price, or they would have just gave it to me free. One of the two. That didn't happen. But I'll let it go this one time. I'm not worried about a bottle of coffee creamer because I can get that pretty much anywhere. Um, but what I did and what I tend to do, I wanted to bring this up too. Whenever I shop and get my groceries and it's in the bag and I put it in my cart and I'm pushing it off, if I can find a place to sit down before I go out to my car, I'm going over the receipt to make sure they rung me up correctly. And if I got the BOGO and what
Yeah.
kind of deals and how much off, I always clarify and look and make sure everything is, A plus. Because if it's not, I'm going to the customer service desk and fix it. And it was. And then I just got up and, you know, I just got up and left, and then that was that. But bottom line to this story is always make sure before you leave to head out to your car, always look over your receipt. In fact, do one even better. As it's being rung up and you're standing there at the register, look down at the little screen where it shows that things are being rung up because it'll show you there's like an LED where it's where you pay. It'll
Right.
tell you what your items are. Keep an eye on that. Um, because if you don't, you don't want to wind up going, because if somebody lives a few miles away, oh my gosh, they overcharge me $2 or $3.
Great point, Steve. A lot of times people do that. All right, I agree with you with the register, like right then and there would be great. The next best thing is when you're right outside the store. The worst case scenario is when you're in your car still, but you're practically home, and then you're looking down. You go, "What?" Like you just said. Interesting. It could be really annoying, with the price of gas at the moment, the
Right.
time, effort, and energy. You are so correct about checking things over. Those are literally wallet leakers. Oh, my word.
Oh, they are. They are. That's why there have been times. I'll tell you where I actually learned about looking over the receipt better. My dad, he was retired Navy, and from what I understand, it's not really worth going out there too much anymore because of prices off the military base is no different really than what you pay on base. My dad used to like to go to the commissary, and there were a couple of occasions. Luckily, we only lived 4 miles away. There were a couple of occasions where we were taking stuff out of the bag, and we stopped and said, "Hey, wait a minute. There's two or three things here that's not on the receipt. What happened?" So what happened is the baggers, forgot to put the items in the plastic bags. So
Whoa.
that's and when
They
I
forgot to pack them up?
they forgot to pack them up. So that is one of the things that led me to always going over, checking the receipt double, triple time over to make sure that everything you bought is there. When I go to a wholesale club, I don't necessarily have a bag to put it in, but it does say down at
Yes.
the bottom, items bought or items purchased or whatever. It tells you the number. And if I look down in my cart, and if that number that's in my cart of items doesn't match the receipt, something didn't get rung up, or something got forgotten. But a lot of the time at a wholesale club, I usually tend to go through self checkout, so I know what's going in and what's going out. So
That makes
again,
a ton of sense.
right. So bottom line here, always make sure to look over your receipt. Make sure your items that you purchased are there. Because if you're, you know, a mile or two away, that's not so bad. Yeah, you can always go back and fix it. But if you live 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 miles one way, that's a different story. Or even further, that's that's even worse. But usually that isn't the case because a lot of the time you've got more than one grocery store of that type that you can go to, you know. But I would say go to a different store of that same name, but don't do that because you kind of want to stay to the one that you were with because that's where it happened. So,
Right. It
so
just
this,
goes to show how many ways people could lose money that way by just not knowing.
that's right. So, you know, always be mindful. You have to have your mind on what you're doing. You can't be sidetracked or get distracted. You just can't do that. So, anyway, glad that you decided to come on to hear me out
Oh
mostly.
no, no, I'm so glad, it's crazy. You
Yeah.
know what, Steve? I just wanted to mention there was a technical issue for a few seconds there. It was like blank. Your voice wasn't coming through, and I was speaking to like compensate. So who knows how it's going to turn out, but either way, the message got through.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Because only thing that I or you can do when we come on is, we click. Well, we set up our banners and anything and any intro outro music we want to use ahead of time. And when I when we click on record, we click on it again, and then from there, due to technology, we don't really know what happens after that, because we can't really hear what's going on. Um,
Exactly. Very well put.
right.
100%.
So I am keeping my fingers crossed that if there is any dropout, it was only very minor. So
Yes.
okay. All right. Well, Jan, thanks for stopping by. This was
My
good.
pleasure. Absolutely.
Yeah. And again, everybody, be on the lookout for me. Be on the lookout for us. If you like what you see, both mine and Jan's channel, please like and subscribe. That would be a great thing. I hope everybody has a great whatever time of day it is, because I know YouTube is everywhere. And have a good day, and we'll see you back here next time. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Bye.